get this started. I don't need another pointless story.
Hey folks, welcome to another week of my build streams. Thank you very much for joining me. I think we've got quite a few people in chat at the minute, so I'll do a bit of a roll call. So I see Martin there first again. We've got Anarchy and Soren as well. Hi guys, good to see you. Who else have we got? Ibibis or Ibibis, I'm not sure how I say that, man, but I know who you are anyway. We've got Egler as well, Elliot, Pungu. How is Martin first again? He's always first. He's there every week. He knows the schedule. No, he said that as well. We've got Darth as well. Frank. Who else have we got in the chat? We've got Querdenker as well. Good afternoon. Raging Asian. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Stocks as well. Elliot. Hey man. Mr. Evil Genius himself as well. LBI Base. Okay, LBI Base. There you go. We'll go for that. And we've got Fax as well. No, it's not the Alice this week. Yeah, this is the Royal 66 we built on stream a couple of weeks ago. I finally got round to programming it. So yeah, I've been using this all day with the nice GMK Oblivion keycaps. It's a lovely board. Works really well. It's nice. It's nice. What's been going on, guys? What are you up? Oh, we've got Top Black in here as well. Hey man, good to see you. We've got WizBlue as well. Hey dude. Oh, and Elliot's just subscribed. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. As always, any subscriptions we get, any donations, bits, that's all going to get put into the giveaway pot. And we'll talk about the giveaway that's upcoming that we talked about last week in a bit more detail shortly. So that's something that's up and coming. Darth, I fucked up the top mount spots and it's a major headache on the case. Oh, is that on the AEK thing? Yeah, interested to see when that's finished, because I think I'm going to end up grabbing one of those for my spare Cyclops PCB as well. In fact, I've got my brown Alps all disassembled and cleaned and ready to lube up for that build next week. That's my next project. So yeah. Okay guys, so I'm going to start off today, and what we're going to be doing is rebuilding the E6V2. Now I have a spare PCB in plate for this one. At the moment this is built with 67 gram Zelios and a carbon fibre plate, which sounds reasonable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a spare PCB in plate. I've got a Mao. This is Mao in colour, slightly off white. You can see it against the white keys there. It's a slight shade of grey. There's the bottom as well. So what we're going to do is rebuild this with a spare PCB and plate. I've got a MAU plate that's going to go in here with it, and we're going to build it with box Novelias. So these came in a couple of weeks ago. Haven't got around to using them as yet. Yeah, you can see what these are like. They are quite a loud switch. They've got a lot of noise to them, but they do feel quite tactile. So yeah, we'll see how they go. See what they feel like once they're in the board, and do a bit of a sound test as well. See what's going on in chat. Bot didn't announce my 3-month anniversary. Oh, I'm sorry, Quert. Well, congratulations on 3 months of being on J-Keep's streams. Thank you very much for that. Put a top mount cut right where the USB cutout goes. I see, that makes sense. Yeah, need to rework that. Let me just turn this music down a touch, guys. It's really loud in here. There we go. About the USB cutout myself. Nice. Mao Zedong. I don't know what that means, Martin, but I'll go for that. Yeah. That board is thick. Yeah, it is thick. It's quite low at the front. It's quite thick at the back. But yeah, it's really nice. It's got this lovely curved edge and then the flat for the base. It's difficult to show that on stream there. There you go. So that's what we're going to go with. Interesting, these caps do have a nice bottom row. I don't know if you can see that here, but this is Sky Dolch, which has row 5 bottom row. It also, if I have the F row on a board, it has row 0 as well. So instead of row 1 caps, it has row 0, which is slightly taller. But it does give more of a natural curve on this. It's difficult to angle that right to show you guys how much steeper that bottom row is. But I hope you can see that. So that's what we're going to rebuild. I've got the spare plate and PCB just here. So as you can see, this is a MAU universal plate. It looks white. It's not. If you look at it against the white keycaps, you can see it's kind of a slight shade of grey. But that goes for all MAU coatings. I've seen it on a few boards. The COD 67, the E6, and I've got another one in MAU. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, it's slightly greyish. It's not quite white. This plate has got a slight bend to it. I don't know if that's showing up on stream against the straight edge here. See if I show you. It's got a slight bend to it, but it should straighten out when we start to put the board together. PCB is just the standard ones. This is from round 1. It's not being used. It's brand new, fully working. Underglow LEDs for down the sides. I don't know if I showed you that on the board, but these little grooves here are for the underglow, which is quite nice. So yeah, so there we go. That's what we're going to build. Let's just catch up with chat, see what's going on. Chairman Mount, yes. Nice board. It is. This one is probably a little bit nicer in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Mousepad. The mousepad is actually from the international kit, as you can see down here. That's a podcast run by Querdenker and Egler, who are in the chat at the minute. They were kind enough to have me on the show a couple of months ago actually now, where I talked about my history in keyboards and group buys that I'd run and a few of the bits and pieces as well. And they were kind enough to share the files so that I could have this made. Sadly, I did get a bit of a mark on it, but we keep the mouse there to cover that up. Just move that to one side. Okay, what else are we talking about here? Yep, the international kit. Yep. It's ANSI ISO Universal. It is, yeah, sadly I've not had a custom plate cut for this one. It's just the stock plate that came. I do have a black aluminium one as well, and as I say, we've got the carbon fibre in the existing one too. We've got Baby Feet in the chat as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. And we've got Erdin saying, did you encounter any problems regarding the spacing on the E6V2? Yes, so as you rightly point out, one of the things that you can see just here, or you probably can't see, but the spacing's normal here between the keys. It'd be easy to see if it wasn't a black plate, but the spacing's normal between the keys here. But on the bottom row, it's a lot tighter, so the caps are almost touching, and if you do press them at an angle, they kind of scrape against each other. Now that has been likened to I say in quotes European spacing. It's just a little bit different. I think it's 19.0 millimeters instead of 19.05. Across the width of the board, it starts to make a bit of a difference. It's interesting. I've not had any problems in general use, but if you do hit the switches off center, if you're pushing downwards or like that, if you're typing quickly and using your pinkies, it kind of can scrape against it. but yeah, it's just one of those things. What else are we talking about? It's Europe switch facing, and the internet is baby feet's booty today. Nice. Okay, guys. So let's make a start. I've already clipped and lubed some stabilizers ready for this build, and as we've talked through before, clipping them is just the 2 of the 4 legs that go on the insert. So there's 4 legs. Clip the 2 smallest ones, the 2 thinnest ones, pop the insert in, and follow my lubing guide if you want to lube them the same way as I do. I always use silicone grease, dielectric grease. I couldn't remember the name of it then. But I've already done that, moved through that. We're just going to crack on with the build itself today, because I've got work in the morning and it's nearly 8:15 here, so don't want to be working on this too late tonight. Okay, so on this board we only need 3 stabilizers. We need 1 for backspace, we need 1 for the ISO enter, and then we need 1 for the spacebar. Just going to grab a screwdriver here. So as always, we're just going to pop these in first, making sure we don't have any parts where they're shorting the circuit out. So you can see here, these screws don't touch anything that's going to short out. So there is one screw that's going to touch a pad there, but it's not going to short anything out there. There's nothing to connect it to. In terms of the ISO enter, we'll have a look at that in a second. I think it's pretty clean when I built the previous board, so we'll double check that in a moment. Surprise, 0.05 millimeters makes a tangible difference. Honestly, it does over the width of the board when you've got it before and after every key, and the case is quite narrow as well, and it's quite tight around the keys. It does make a bit of a difference. It all adds up. My 40% is all wrong spacing and still fits. Yeah, you can probably force it. ISO, yeah, man. All my boards are ISO. You can probably see the ones up here. We've got the so that's the VEA. We've got the what we've got Canoe. We've got the Singer, I think, or X74. No, it's Nox 268, and a few other boards as well. They're all ISO. That's what I do. Same as the punchy board as well. Just something about that big enter that I really like. One of the biggest things I've actually struggled with on this board is it doesn't support split left shift, and I use split left shift almost exclusively. You can see on here split left shift, and that's what I use. Pinky finger rests nicely there. And Matalek with the subscription. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you. But yeah, I've been really struggling with the full left shift on here. Not from hitting the shift, but just because the key feels weird to me, and the slope of the keys causing me to hit it more centrally. And then when I go back to another board, I struggle for a minute or two. But it's just getting used to different layout. Okay, so that's in there, as we can see nicely. So next we're going to move on to the ISO enter. And again, this isn't a full-on stab tutorial or anything like that. I know we've done them before. I don't intend to go through it all today. I'm just going to pop the stabs in and crack on with the build. We will be doing a full build from scratch when we talk about the giveaway in a short while, and as part of that we will go through all of the different steps, lubing the switches, lubing the stabs, all of that. I'll cover all of them again as a bit of a tutorial, so hopefully that'll be next week. Split left shift is a big oof. I love split left shift for 2 reasons. 1, it's one less stabilizer to worry about, and 2, it's just what I'm used to. I just find my pinky finger rests nice there. I like having the pipe key there. Just get what you're used to, don't you? So again, we're screwing these stabilizers here for the ISO enter, and just to show you guys as well, there is no pins that we're going to cross over, so there's nothing to shot out on the ISO enter. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is work out where we need to put the 7U spacebar. So it wants to sit if we get in the right spot, like so. That's where we're going to go. 7U space. just finish this off, and then I'll catch back up with chat, see what's going on, see how everyone's weekend is going. There we go. Okay, so that's all of our stabilizers done. Again, you can see there's absolutely no crossover with any pads or switches or pins or anything else like that that we need to worry about. So we should be all good. Give it the shake test. No rattle. All good. Nothing. There we go. Nice and silent. And these are the keycaps for the AEK build with the brown alps for next week as well. Okay, so that's that put together. The next thing we're going to do is start to pop the switches in, so you can see that all fits together quite nicely. There's no clearance issues on this board, like the Canoe, for example, that has clearance issues. So yeah, so we're going to go with that. Your Alice is not ISO. No, my Alice isn't ISO. No, it's not. It's one of two boards I have that isn't ISO. So the two boards I have that aren't ISO is the Alice, which is just here, the pink Alice, and also the Hyper 7, which is just off screen on this side here, so it's just a bit further over there. And the Hyper 7 just doesn't support ISO. Now I could probably fudge that one around a little bit, but we're not going to do it. We're not going to do that. Oh god, oh fuck, I fucked everything up. Excuse my French. Dath, what's wrong? Is this the AEK again? You have to let us know what's going on, man. Have to let us know. Jay, have you ever tried Alps? Yes, I have tried Alps. I've tried a few different versions of Alps. I've got salmon boards somewhere lying around. Brown Alps is going to be my next build. I'd say everything's just been stripped down and is cleaning, ready for lubing. I'm going to go with 70 centinewton springs in the next week or so. So yeah, so we're going to do that build soon. I'm not a fan of linear Alps, and I'm not a fan of dampened Alps, but I do like tactile Alps. There we go. Your Twitch name is confusing, Darth. In my mind, I always read that second S as a T. That's fair. I ordered M2 washers for screen scabs 2 weeks ago. I think it got lost in the mail. Ah, man, that's sad. I'm sorry, dude. Plastic screws from China for screw-ins. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. And Fax will also sell some screws as well. Yeah. CAD is hard when you're done because it turns out I struggle with CAD as well, man. I'm working on a board at the minute. I've got Teslatron helping me because I just can't design for crap, and Martin's been kind enough to do the PCB for me as well. What about clickies? I'm not a fan of clicky switches. I don't really like clickies. I've got two clicky boards. One has got box jades in, one's got box navies in. The original ones, not the retooled ones. And I don't like the sound. It's too noisy. I prefer a quiet board, but I don't like a silent board, if that makes sense. I prefer a thock, not a click. Just my preference. Raging Agent, did I hear Teslatron? Yeah, Tez is helping me with a board design. I might show that on my next stream. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, he owed me a favour, so he's helping out with that. West Rockshire, Jay went smart and an actual designer. Hey man, I would have asked you, but you were busy with ANSI. So if everyone doesn't know, Max is running the ANSI group buy at the moment. Go check that out on Geekhack. It's almost at MOQ. Help push that over because I'm in on that group buy and I want that board. But Teslatron owed me a favour. I think I owe him a favour now actually, and he was kind enough to help out. Best Alps I've ever tried has to be salmons. Fair. Yeah, salmons are alright. I prefer browns, but salmons are alright. He's a big dummy. Teslatron's a big goof. I love him. He's ace. I can help design with a board too, Jay. Yeah, I'm sure you can, man. I'm sure you can. Yeah, it's just one project I've got ongoing at the minute. There may be more boards in the future. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Egler. Yes, that's a good point actually. Share some of those PC ANSI, polycarbonate ANSI renders that Egler's done. You should definitely get those out there. Oh, you should definitely share them, Max. You should definitely share them. I do think you should share them. Right, let's carry on with the build. So these are plate mount switches. They aren't PCB mount with them being box. So what we're going to do is just going to line all of these up and then try and press it together afterwards. Plate is quite a tight plate. Exclusive has really good tolerances on a lot of his products, plates included. See, now I can't even get this one in. There we go. In fact, this is going to be easier for this board to just pop these all in separately. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll pop all these in. We'll check that we've got no bent pins. We've got no issues with clearance and tolerances. We'll pop the two together. We'll tack it together. Any switches which are going to be loose and won't clip into the plate, such as the ISO enter, we'll come back and do later on. We'll just work through these for now. What I'm going to do is just put the switches that are in a fixed position in place, and then we'll come back to anything that's a little bit more open on the plate later on. Okay, Max will do it when he's ready. Yeah, that's fair, that's fair, but he should share it. Box switches. Hey Jay, save me a Novelia. One's already on its way to you, Max. I think we've got a couple of other switches in there as well, including that Nixie spacebar switch that you wanted. That's in there as well, Max, for you. Universal plate and plate mounted switches equals big oof. Yeah, it's a thing. To be honest, this is more of an experiment for me. I'm not massively fussed how this turns out. It won't be my main PCB for this board, nor plate. It's just something to test out the switches, test out what they feel like in this particular board. That's more the thing for me. And it's also going to help me determine what the board sounds like with an aluminium plate rather than the carbon fibre one. Because I've tried a few E6s at meetups and things like that, and I have to be honest, I've never been a massive fan of the sound profile that it gives off with brass plates that I've seen a lot in there. So I'm hoping the aluminium is as nice as the carbon fibre. Watching these is like torture for me. Jades and whole stuff is here. You got to wait till Christmas. I'm sorry, Stotty man. You're more than welcome to come around. I know you're a local guy. You're more than welcome to come around at some point and have a look at the boards and see what you want and have a play around. Look forward to your impressions of the Novelias, Jay. Still undecided what to do with mine. I mean, what are the facts? So the facts are that they're a little bit more heavy weighted than the Box Royals. The tactility should be the same. They are quite a loud switch. People know that. Once I've done this, I'll give my opinions on whether I like them or not, and I can always come back to it on a future stream and give a further detailed update. They are box switches, so put them where they belong. Yep, that's in this build, Max. Yep. I don't think all box switches are bad. I think that's a fallacy. But then again, it's all preference. So if people don't like them, they don't like them. If people love them, they love them. Okay. You're wrong. They're all bad. Hey man, it's a preference game. Is this hobby? There's no such thing as a right or wrong answer. No such thing. Okay. Crack on with this. Just try to keep track and make sure the stream rate is looking alright. It looks fairly good at the moment, so you guys shouldn't be having any stuttering. Top clack preach. Yep, yeah, absolutely. I assume that's Brian that's watching. Everyone disagrees with me is objectively wrong. No, I don't know. Oh, Double, thank you, man. Thank you for the sub, dude. I really appreciate that, man. You were number 2 on the Twitch bits stream, and now you're a subscriber as well. I really appreciate that, dude. Really appreciate that. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, Brian's here as well. Yeah. I know Gio would have been as well. Gio tries to catch all the streams, but sadly he's in the air at the moment. And his missus is not going to be happy if he jumps straight on Twitch to watch the stream afterwards. He's going to catch up on the VODs. I think Brian's been here more often than he lets on, to be honest. I think he's watched a few streams, and he just likes to keep quiet sometimes. Work. Yeah, I feel that. Everyone is here. Not everyone. A lot of people. It's nice. It's a good little community. Quadenker's going to build his ANSI with box switches to wind Max up now. There we go. What else is going on in chat? I think that's everything. I think we're caught up. I'll try and quickly push these back on. One of the things we're going to do today as well is we're going to go stepped caps wherever I can do stepped caps like I always do. The reason for that is because I tend to switch it for control, and I prefer the 1.25U control to the 1.5U control. That's just a personal preference thing, especially on a HHKB layout board. Brian, have you found that new top clack host yet? Yeah, I have no idea what Brian's doing, but I think that'll be interesting for the community as a whole to see what's going on from there. Why is there anime in the background? It's not anime, it's just chilled cow. It's the music on YouTube. It's just a YouTube video. It's not anime. I'm not particularly an anime fan, but hey, that's just me. Brian, potentially. Ooh, not the first thing in his mind. Understandable, Brian. I completely get that. Yeah, lo-fi hip-hop, that's the one. Yeah, that's it. He's got a shower first. Double YouTube. Oh, you got the big switch, did you? Nice, man. I'm glad that came through. I'm glad you got that, man. Okay, just going to line all this up. Help if I could align it. There we go. And then try and clip it all together. So there we go, that's all looking nice. We are going to go split left shift as we talked about before. Saves that one extra stabilizer. And then that means we can go for the nice little right shift. We've got HHKB layout, so we don't want to put that in. I was just going to put a switch in the corner then. But what I'm going to do is try and work out what the layout needs to be here. See what we need to do for the bottom row in just a minute. I think what I'll probably do is just take the caps off of the existing plate and go from there. I don't know if you just heard that, but the dog's sniffing at the door. Bless her. Oh gosh, chat's going insane at the minute. Let's try and catch up with what's going on. Next top clock is definite shower thought material. Sounds good. Oh, host. Oh right, okay, yeah, get yeah. Mum, trust me, it's just a YouTube video. Jay's a secret weeb. I'm not a weeb at all, guys. But you know, fair play to anyone who is. That's fine. Raging Asian might be the next host. Go for it. I'd love to see that. I say the same thing when the sig. Oh, hey, double with the 100 bits. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that. I say the same thing when the signal, the SO catches me watching Hentai 2J. Don't worry. It's just one of those things. Jay's so weeb he ordered Sarika. Okay. So the only thing I've got from Sarika, and the board's just here, is the Micons. Now, what I've done with them, I completely hate at the minute. I've put them on a board with GMK Exent from the Exent group buy. So it's a grey on black GMK set, and I've put yellow mods on there, and it's the Micon mod, and it looks terrible. I'll go grab the board in a minute because it looks absolutely awful. So yeah, so that's just one of the things. It's great, way too loud fidget toy. Yeah, double. So I've got a big switch left over, and I've got a couple of the 3D printed cases I sent you. I'm gonna use mine as a power button for something, possibly the light setup that I've got for my stream setup. Animated titties, yeah. Hey, we've got Rope as well. Hey Rope, good to see you. Another Alice user there. Jay's so weeby like Sarika after it changed to Weeb Alpha as well. These things happen. Anime thighs save lives. Did you test Micons with the OG cherries yet? No, do you know what, Quert? I didn't actually. Right, I'm going to show you the board before I finish this off, actually. So this is the board that the Micons are on at the minute, and it looks terrible. I'll be completely honest. So here you go. Look how bad that looked. But this is GMK Exent. It looks better with the black mods. I tried this out earlier on today, and I just didn't get around to undoing it. It's something that just needs to be fixed and changed. I'm going to change the alphas and the spacebar and the ISO for some OG cherry double shots. I've got them just here actually. So you can see the rest of the Micons are there. I've just not used the rest of them yet. And then I think the OG cherry caps are in here, if I remember rightly. Where's the... Can't even get into the box. Here you go. So these are the OG cherry caps. I'm going to clean all of these up and then use these with the Micons and see how they look. So you can see what you think there. That might look a little bit better. So we'll see. We'll see. It may look good. It may look crap. We'll find out when we come around to building it. There we go. So let's see what chat thought of that. Did you just yeah, savage. It looks horrible. The ISO enter key is wonky. Yeah, it's the stabilizer popped out earlier on while I was changing caps. The bar needs clicking back in. I like the logo on the mods though. Yeah, the icon mods are alright actually. I don't mind the icons themselves though, they're quite nice. I think it's just, and whilst the yellow is nice, I think it just doesn't work on the set. If you just use these grey ones for example, that's quite nice on its own. You know, you can imagine that looking quite nice on a board like that. So if it was the whole board like that, I'd be alright with it. As it is, it's just one of those things. Oh no, spacebar. Yes. So yeah, one of those things. OG alphas. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Do you plan on flying into the US for any meetups in the future? If so, go to this settle one. Me and Sashimi in Top Cloud Discord are planning on making the trip. Do you know what? Right, Chris Wise and I have been talking about whether we're gonna do like a lads trip over to one of the US meetups, and we haven't confirmed anything as yet, but it is something that we would like to do. So it's very much going to be a watch this space kind of deal on that one. No promises as yet would be what I'm going to say, but we'll see if we can do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just use these caps to help align this bottom row. So once we've got the space bar on, it says once we've got the space bar on, there we go. What I can do now is I can use the keys themselves to work out where the rest of the switches need to go. You might be able to see this better on the on here actually from the space, and you can see that that's really tight. You can't see the plate in between at all. Maybe a tiny little bit there, but they're really tight. It's very much not like that for the rest of the board. Okay, so that aligns my bottom row up with everything that I need. Right there. Okay, so that's the bottom row done and sorted. Okay. Okay, so that just leaves the ISO enter and the hash tilde key to go in. So I'll pop that in, and then we'll try and see if we can get this to clip in. I'm not sure if this will. If it does, great. If it doesn't, we'll come back and do it later. No, we're all good. There we go. It's nice and steady. Great. Okay, so that's the layout, guys. That's the board all ready to be soldered. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to tack this on. As I said before, the plate has bowed slightly, so what I'm going to have to do is push it down whilst I'm soldering a couple of the pins, just to make sure that it's all nice and flat and present. So we'll crack on with that in just a minute. Just while we're doing that, we'll catch up with chat and see what's going on in chat, and then we'll have a talk before we start soldering about the next giveaway that's coming up. So Brian says, see out the meetup, love heart. Yeah, absolutely. Don't know which meetup it'll be. It may be Seattle, it may not be, it may be another one. We are going to try and get out there, or at least one of us will, and see what we can do. I only sold around 240 vintage blacks, but they are really bad. Of course, I win the shit lottery. Yeah, vintage blacks are a bit hit and miss. Try getting them through an ultrasonic cleaner, see how that helps. It may help, it may not. See where you get to with that. The true gamble in this hobby. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vince didn't meet the hype for me. Tried some yesterday at NorCal Meetup where I assume people cherry pick the smoothest ones and they didn't blow me away. The general rule of thumb with Vince is buy 3 times as many as what you need for a build and then cherry pick out of that volume that you've got until you find the best ones. The caps sound like they're instantly cracking. No, it's just the PCB on the plate. These are the retail ones. They're not going to affect the caps. And even if they do, this is my spare set of GMK Sky Dolch. The keycaps have all got scratches on them, so it's not a set I'm particularly precious about. So even if they do get damaged, it's fine. How would you retool vintage blacks yourself, though? I've got a little drill bit that you can retool Utemu switches with, a 2.35mm one. It's a bit of a pain. It's not great, but you could try doing that, I guess. But I wouldn't. I'd just clean them and then lube vint blacks, and that's that. When vints are bad, it's usually due to corroded leaves. Yeah, I've seen that before where the leaves have got rust on them. There's not much you can do with that. We'll try to pick up a lot of the upcoming linear FEI switch. Yeah, they look good. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in trying that. Oh, we've got Coconut as well. Hey man, good to see you. Oh, that was a joke, Jay. Oh, right, okay. Alright, okay. So if I remember rightly, Coconut is actually Candy Keys vendor. I want to say that Candy Keys. Yeah, there we go. Post it in chat. I was going to say I was trying to put the name back together in my head, but yeah, Candy Keys. There we go. Okay, so whilst we're just waiting for this, just going to talk about the upcoming giveaway, which is probably the biggest one we've done on stream. So the keyboard 67, which is going to be the giveaway board, is in transit at the moment. I don't know why that's smoking. It's on its way to me right now. I don't have an ETA as to when it's going to get here. I hope it's soon, but I don't have an ETA as yet. When it does get here, as soon as it's here, I'm not going to touch the box. I'm not going to open it. What we're going to do is we're going to wait until the very next Sunday stream. As soon as that stream starts, we're going to open it on stream. First time it's going to be opened in the box will be live on stream because I don't know what colour Way is sending me. I just asked them to surprise me on that front. So as soon as that arrives, we'll open it on stream on the first Sunday. You guys will get to see it up close. I'll do a bit of a comparison of the board. The same mounting is on the canoe, so I'll have a look at the canoe and see how that compares. We'll have a look at the 268 from Noxery, which is probably the closest in styling, and see what the pros and cons are from that point of view. At that point, we'll then run a raffle. We'll do a giveaway, and whoever wins the board, I'll then reach out to offline, and we'll talk about how they want to build it, what sort of switches they want in there, what sort of stabilizers. There'll probably be 8 or 9 different options for switches based on what I've got lying around, or what I can pick up. And then we'll build it the very next week on stream, and then I'll ship it out to whoever's won, and they'll have it in a couple of weeks. So all being well, it is on its way from China right now. If it's here for a week today, then we'll do it next week. If not, we'll do the Alps build that I was showing you earlier on, and it'll be the week after. So yeah, we'll see how that's going to be. We'll see how that's going to work. In terms of how the giveaway itself is going to work, you will get an entry for being a participant on the stream, for watching, for chatting. That will give you an entry automatically. Anyone who has subbed will get an extra entry. Anyone who has donated to the stream for the giveaway fund pot, they will also get an extra entry. And anyone who's donated 1,000 bits or more will get another entry for every 1,000 bits they've entered. So for example, Olivia, who's at the top of the pile, would have got 4 entries off the bat for that, but she's a mod, so she doesn't count. So yeah, so that's how we're going to do that, and go from there. Yeah, so Max, the Cyclops plate did come, but I missed the delivery. It actually came yesterday whilst I was out, so I don't actually know when I'm going to get it. Hopefully I'll get it Monday, Tuesday, and it should be on stream next week. If the keyboard 67 hasn't arrived, we'll be building that next week. So if you miss the stream but are subbed, you still get an entry. Yes, correct, Elliot. So if you subbed and you missed the stream, you still get an entry. If you're not subbed, haven't dropped any bits, haven't donated, you have to be watching to be entered. Simple as that. I heard you mention Utemu switches and retooling. I assume you've tried Skies. Thoughts on them? Yes, so I've tried Skies. I did a build on stream of my Noxery X75 prototype with Skies. I've since desoldered the board because I wasn't using it because of the Skies that were in there. They're highly tactile, which I really, really like, but even when they've been retooled, they're still slightly scratchy. The big problem was I used a new type of lube to me, which was RO59 on those switches, and it didn't work for them. I think I would much prefer them if I'd have used something like Krytox 104 or 5 or 6, something like that. That would have probably made it much nicer for me and been a much more user-friendly experience. Interestingly, I've now given those to Holy Pandas Aren't Great from the Top Clack Discord. He claimed those after I desoldered them, so they're actually posted out to him now, and I've got some of the tight tops left over. I think I've got maybe 600 of the Utemu switches left over. So Regin, if you want some, just let me know. I can send you a handful and you can try them out. Soran, yeah, Jay, but for that keyboard 67, do one thing. Whoever wins has to go with ISO. No, I won't enforce that on anybody. Don't get me wrong, I would love to build it ISO, but whoever wins, they get to pick whatever layout they want. I would not want to... the whole hobby is based on preference, right? Everyone likes what they like for whatever reasons they have, or for no reason, because they don't need one. So what I would like them to do is to be really open and honest about what they want and what they need from the board, and we'll build it completely around them. Whoever is the winner, that's what we're going to do. The wobble is horrendous. Yes, on the Utemu Skies, the wobble is horrendous. The tight tops do make it better, but you get more scratch. You don't get less scratch with the tight tops, so that's a negative. I don't think they're terrible switches. I just think there's better alternatives out there if you're willing to spend a bit more money. Imagine liking ISO. Wow, you're already basically trying to stuff. Max, that's a bit offensive, man. How many the international kit stickers do I have to trade for an extra entry? One for everybody who's watching the stream, but I've got one here, so that found its way to me. Thank you very much, Mr. Evil Genius, for sending that over to me. I really appreciate you sending that. So he got this off of the international kit guys at Mechanicon. Nice little, really thick quality vinyl sticker there. So thank you very much for that. Same as Bit Square, 1,000 of them. Yeah, maybe. Going to RO59 in the Brown Alps. Yes, I do have a tub of RO59 somewhere around. I'm not sure where it's gone. The other thing as well that someone kindly sent me from Mechanicon, I wasn't there, but Fax from kindly sent me the GMK Mechanicon Meetup, which got the lovely ISO enter on an angle. There you go, and the Meetup sticker as well. So he kindly sent that over to me just the other day with some stabs. How did you retool with a hand drill? Yeah, well, no, actually what I did is I've got like I just put them in an adjustable screwdriver, put the drill bit inside the screwdriver, and then used the screwdriver and hand twisted it to retool it. That's how I did it. You could probably do it with an electric drill, but you want it on a really slow speed. Even a Dremel on its slow speed might be too quick, so just need to be really careful. Mr. Evil Genius, they are good stickers. Yeah, they're really good, man. Really good. Yeah, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. Okay, so that's that talked about. That's the giveaway we've talked about as well. As I say, anyone who has subbed or dropped bits or donated doesn't need to be on stream to win. Anyone else who is on there will on the stream at the day will be entered with a chance to win. And we'll talk about that as well. I'm going to post up the rules on my Discord server for these streams in the next couple of days, and if you guys want to join, you can join by going to that link, and you can have a look at the Discord server there. Yeah, I heard electric was too much. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've just got an adjustable screwdriver that you can tighten. It's almost like a drill, where you put a drill bit into a drill and you can use a chuck to tighten it. It's like that, but on a screwdriver, and I just used that. GMK Mechanicon keycap should be a running thing per year, I think, since last year it was the same with a dark blue keycap. Oh, right, okay, I didn't know that. So yeah, there we go. Oh, and we've got Glue as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Glue is one of my all-time favourite people. He's a brother from another mother who lives over in San Francisco, and he's an absolute legend. So everyone say hi and make him feel welcome. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solder the 4 switches around the edges of the board. Once we've done that, we're going to try and unbend this plate and try and get everything flat and flush, and solder a couple of switches in the middle. And then we'll go row by row to complete the soldering job. Okay, this one done there. I'm just going to go down to this bottom corner. Then we're just going to come over this side, and you'll see what I'm doing is I'm just pressing down just so it's nicely seated as the switch, and that's just because the plate's a little bit bent. I did try and straighten up a little bit. It was really bad actually when I took it out of the box, but we're all good. Okay, so that's all 4 corners soldered together. What we're going to do now is just do a couple of switches in the middle of the board, pressing down quite nice and firmly, just to align everything up. Oh, and my dog's now entered the office. She's running right around the back of the office now. I do apologise, guys. Okay. Okay, so there we go. So now the board is all held together nicely. It's now nice and flush. We can see all around the edge it's flush there. Just checking, it's flush there. Should be flush at the front. There we go, nice and flush. And flush down the side as well. And you'll see that it's nice and straightened out. The PCB's pulling that straight with the keycaps in there. Sorry, with the switches in there. So there we go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through, solder the row by row, making sure we get all the switches nice and neatly soldered. And we'll see how that goes. Max, do you have any kids at the door? I don't know what that means, but it sounds a bit dodgy. Okay, so we're just going to quickly solder this top row, and then once we've done this, we'll carry on with the build. Okay. As always, I'm using Kester solder. This is 6337 leaded solder. With a nice resin core. Okay, halfway through this top row now. Refill this one. There we go. This one's really close to the USB. Wherever you've got ones that are really close to other components, guys, just take an extra second. Just make sure you're not crossing anything over. Really careful on that kind of stuff. There we go. And as always, I'm using my trusty TS100 soldering iron. I think we're at 40 boards with this soldering iron now, something like that. 3 new tips it's been through now, but quite possibly one of the best pieces of kit I've invested in for this hobby. And I know there's now the TS80 out as well, which is a more portable version. So if you guys are looking for a soldering iron, that would be my recommendation. Okay, there we go, that's one row done. I don't understand, Jay, it's a Dutch thing. Okay, fine, yeah, I don't need to know Dutch things. Nice and healthy. Okay, vegan solder, tasty. Is it just me, or is leaded solder harder to get in the UK recently? I get mine off eBay. I've never struggled. I buy it in a pound reel. It's Kester solder. Hold on, I'll show you what it is. There you go, Kester solder. Pound reel. I have 2 thicknesses. Oh, my dog's underneath the desk. I've got 2 thicknesses. This is 0.8mm. I've also got 0.25mm, which I use for SMD components, diodes, things like that. Isn't there a USB-C TS100? I don't know, if I'm honest. leaded solder is just harder to get in the EU. Yeah, I think it is a little bit. I've never struggled on eBay. Oh, Amazon have recently removed leaded solder from the site. Interesting. I have to say, I buy it on eBay. It tends to work out a little bit cheaper on there. So I usually use that for it. If anyone wants a link, I'm happy to share it. I can't remember the name of the seller now, but they sell all sorts of soldering components and goodies. Okay. What else is going on in chat? Kessu's hard to get, comes in 450 gram-ish reels, which lasts a year. Hey, Blammy Boy for the subscription. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that, dude. As always, any funds from subscriptions or anything else, they all go into the giveaway pot. So thank you very much for that. 450 gramish reels, which last a year, and then otherwise also 25 gramish packets are offered. I buy it in the reels, and it lasts me about 6 months, something like that. A reel. Yeah. So, yeah, I think you solder even more than I do, Martin, and I do a build or two every week. Almost through the second row now. Then once we've done this, what we'll do is we'll swap out this PCB into the board itself, switch over the keycaps, and then give it a sound test and see what you guys think to the box Novelias. Don't know if you guys can hear that, but the resin's squeaking as it melts. I think it's a solder iron. Okay, almost done on this row. All the fumes are blowing in my face now, typical. There we go. Now onto the home row. And then once we've done this, we've just got the last 2 rows to go, and then we're all done. And the bottom row won't take long at all, given it's only a few switches on that row for the HHKB style ISO layout that we're using. Give the solder down a good clean. Okay. The other thing we'll do as well, guys, I will give this a little bit of a test in terms of making sure all the keys are working correctly. Although it'll be on the wrong key map for me, I'll flash it with my actual E6 key map later on off stream, and then we'll give it a use for a couple of days, see how we get on with it. Okay, once we've done this row, we'll see what's going on in chat and see if there's anything to catch up on there. Okay, last one. There we go. Okay. Oh, thanks for the great streams. No, thanks, man. Thanks, Blammy Boy. I really appreciate you you doing that. Yeah, Martin does do an awful lot of soldering, but that's good. That's not a bad thing. Oh, we've got Harj in the chat as well. Hey, man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you catching one of the streams. Nice work, dude. Really appreciate you being here and being part of the streams. Harjo was one of the guys that helped get me into the hobby a couple of years ago, and he was kind enough to spend a fair bit of time at my first meetup with me, just talking to me, show me around some of the interesting stuff that was going off. Just one of those genuinely nice people that we tend to meet in this hobby. Okay. SMD soldering is long but relaxing. Yeah, I tend to farm out too much tiny soldering stuff to Martin, if I'm honest. Martin's helping me design a board at the moment, a PCB for the project I mentioned I've got in the works with Teslatron, and I've already asked him if he'll solder the components, because it takes such a long time, and I prefer doing the building part. The exciting part for me is doing the building. Oh, and we've got Kreesar now following. Thanks, man. Thanks for the follow, dude. I really appreciate that. Always good to have another person in the army. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, we're almost there now, folks. Last row will be really quick and easy, given that there's only a couple of switches left to go. Hold on a second, I'm just going to push this one in a bit more. There we go. A couple of these switches just need pushing in a touch. Oh, and Harj with the sub. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that, dude. As always, any subscriptions go back into the giveaway pot. That's what we do here. It all goes back into the giveaways. There we go. So thank you very much for that, Harj. I really, really appreciate it, dude. Really appreciate it. Okay. Work our way across the bottom row now, and then we're all done. Spacebar, and then 2 more switches, and then we're all done with the soldering on this particular build. Or 1 more switch even. There we go. So that's the build fully soldered. I'm just going to unplug that and then leave it to cool down over here. There we go. I do them by hand though, not hot air. Yeah, I've never tried hot air soldering. That'd be interesting. That reminds me, I wanted to order a TS80. Need to check 1111 offers. Yeah, you should do. Can you send me 1 tangerine with the Nixie board? I can send you a couple if you want, man. Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you that don't know, I use Nixies to build my TGR Alice. They came from an original Nixie board that Fax helped me to source. And Martin's going to take ownership of that board and rebuild it with some retooled blacks and have it all back up in its lovely working fashion, because the keycaps and the look of the board is amazing. So yeah, so I'm going to send those over to Martin for him to rebuild. Oh, Harj, yeah, I'll catch you up on the board in a second. Yeah, no problems at all. You can have a handful of tangerines. I've got a bag full actually here, so you're welcome to some tangerines. That's not a problem at all. We can definitely sort that out. It has a PCB and a plate. Can't say much more. So what we're doing, Harj, is this is my E6 board. This is the current build. It's got a carbon fibre plate. What we're doing at the moment is we're rebuilding a spare PCB and plate. We've got an aluminium PCB. An aluminium plate, not PCB. Aluminium plate that's in MAU finish, so that's an anodized MAU finish. And we're building it with box Novelias, which are a tactile, heavy tactile switch. So yeah, so that's the build. We're all now fully soldered up. Let's jump onto switch hitter and just make sure everything's working. I think I've got the cable just here that we can use for this. Oops. So we'll just test everything here, make sure everything is working. Okay, I know you guys can't see this, but everything is working so far. Yeah, everything is working here. Caps lock. Oh, that comes up as space, but it works. That will be the pipe key for the ISO, the split shift layout. Space, yep. And that's FN, yep, all working, great. So the board all works. As you can see, it's got nice underglow as standard. That fits down the sides of the board. So the underglow comes through just here and here on the board as well. So yeah, there we go. nice stuff. Switch stem colour is nice. Yeah, it's not really showing up the true colour on the stream. It's actually a little bit more pink. But you can see the switches down here. The more pinky than peachy. I think they're showing up quite peachy on stream, but they are slightly more pink. What's with the right arrow? Not enough 1U keys. Okay, so the bottom row on here isn't the same as the standard cherry bottom row. Let me show you guys. Let me show you. Oops. Hold on. I've just gone into something I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you these keycaps. So this set is from Oblivion. This is the board I've just pulled off from here, so you can see the profile of the keycap from there. This is that's row 4. This is from Sky Dolch, and it's row 5. So it's actually slightly steeper. You can see there that it's quite a bit steeper. There's much more of an angle to the keycap. Try and find the best way to show you that. Put them back to back, you can see that there's one that's much higher, much steeper. I'm trying to show you over the white background. There you go. So the row that they give you isn't the full row, so it's just making best use of those switches. I can use that. So I could put another Windows key there, and I think I have got an FN key as well, and I've got 2 control keys that I could put in as well. So there are options for that bottom row, but this just fits and it looks nice. So that's what we're going to go with. Yeah, R5 OG Cherry. Think I gave it to Gimli. Oh right, okay, yeah, nice. I love the feel of it. And Arkusa as well following. Thanks man, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it, dude. Really appreciate that. We've got Bleddin in the chat as well. Hey man, good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Might still be at home. Don't quite remember. Yeah, it's a lovely row profile. I mean, I use the standard GMK rows all the time, but it's quite a nice treat when you get to use something a little bit different. So yeah. So what we're going to do now is take apart the E6. I think I need my trusty tools. And then once we've taken this apart, we'll switch out the plate and PCB, do a bit of a sound typing test, and we'll see what you guys think. Elliot's got to go. See you, man. Really, really glad to see you on stream again, dude. And Bleddin as well thought he'd just jump in. Yeah, nice man, nice. Hello tech support to Bleddin. For those that you don't know, Bleddin works in tech support, so he's often known as Mr. IT. There we go. Come on, there we go. So once we've undone all of these, what we'll do is we'll just switch it over. It should be nice and quick and easy, and then we can finish off with the sound tests and all that kind of good stuff. Oh, there's no screw in that one. I must have missed that screw. How weird. This one doesn't want to undo. Come back to that one in a second. That didn't seem to want to undo. For our long coach has made Bleddin want to just mong, and that's why he's here. How many times did he try to turn it off and on again? Too many, I would imagine. Okay, so there was one screw just here that was not wanting to come undone, which was slightly frustrating. Yeah, it feels like it's been rounded off, so this may be a short build video if I can't get this out. Let's see what we can do. I don't think I've got another tool that's small enough to fit, given the size. Oh, that might fit. That might do the job. Let's try this bit. Might not be deep enough. Yeah, that's not going to fit. Let's see if we've got anything in here that will do the job. Okay, that might work. Oh, that's too big. see. Okay, that should work. There we go. Adapt and overcome. I'm just going to set that screw to the side. As you can probably not tell, it's rounded off slightly on the hex fastening. So I'm just going to set that one to one side. I have got a couple of spare screws here, so I can replace the one that was missing and that one as well. So that will sort us out from that perspective. Right, let's just tidy these tools up so we don't lose anything, and then we'll crack on with changing the board over. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen an E6 before, they come in a few different parts. So you have the top part, which we have with the name badge, and the name badge just bolts in with two tiny little hex screws just in there. And then we have the plate and PCB. Now the PCB doesn't screw in, it just rests in, and then the screws go through the PCB and plate. You can see here, that's where the screw holes are. They just go straight through there and pull it all together nice and tightly. You can see them on here as well. And then you've got the mid piece as well, which just sits in there as well. I have got a brass middle, brass name badge for the top, and brass weight for the bottom, but I like the black and Mao look. I think that looks really smart together. So we'll pop this back on here. And then what we're going to do is pop the new PCB and plate in. And then I'm going to pop the top on. And then what we'll do is we'll pop a couple of screws in to hold it all together. I'm going to go diametrically opposed on these guys, as always. Try and make sure that we get the board put together as nicely as we can. Now there's never any alignment issues on these. The board has such good tolerances that you're never going to have to worry about them being off. It's always really nice and smooth. Again, we're just going to go diametrically opposed for these two screws, and then we'll do the center ones. That. I think that was all one set. No, one more. And then we'll grab two of the spare ones out. Okay. Lots going on in chat, so let's catch up with what's going on there. This stream is a perfect thing. Join Pop Noodle Dinner, and thanks. Oh, no worries, man. An hour, just flathead, just big enough. No, I'm actually using a Torx bit. I don't know if you can see that. The Torx bit is just the right size. I've used it for a few of these boards before. Sometimes you can get Torx keys that are just the right size for hex bits, but they fit a little bit snugger and a little bit tighter. So they can sometimes be the perfect tool to help you fix these tolerance issues when things start to round off. But hex screws are the worst and best. Torx is better, yeah, I agree. I've got Homeline as well. That's sick. Thanks, man. Homeline, when is the giveaway? So the giveaway is going to be whenever the board arrives. It's either going to be next week or it's going to be the week after. It just depends on when it gets here, man. That's literally what I'm waiting on now. When can I win the giveaway, you say? As soon as the board arrives, we'll do it. I'm sorry, it's mine, go away. It's all going to be a fair run. How much does something like this cost? So for this board in the group buy, I think this board was about $400. The Stabilizers are about $10. These particular switches I think were $60 for $110 switches, $110 or so, something like that. And then the keycap set's about $180 for GMK Sky Dolch. So you're talking about $500-$600 in total for the cost to buy one of these boards. Now the fact that they're not in group buy and they're on the aftermarket, that price may be higher or lower. It entirely depends. This one was very different. This one was $220 in the group buy. I got it for $230 afterwards. The switches are retail blacks, which are 20 cents a piece, and then the keycap set is GMK Oblivion with white alphas and a dodgy backspace. It looks like it's loose. I'll have a look at that in a bit. They were, I think, $160 in the group buy, but I've seen them go for $300 now on aftermarket. So prices are up and down depending on how into the hobby you are and how not. The Alice, for example, here was $480 in group buy, but it's now going for $900 on the aftermarket. So yeah. In terms of the giveaway board, I think was $200-ish, $180, something like that. Then we'll see what the winner wants to do in terms of switches and everything else. Doesn't include keycaps and a power cable or anything like that. It's just the board, so they'll have to power that themselves and find keycaps themselves as well. Raging Asian, thoughts on high pro keycap profiles like SA and MT3. I liked SA when I first joined the hobby, but I've slowly worked my way over to more GMK. I do have SA on this board just here, which is my Pearl, and I've got a couple of boards with SA keycaps on too. In terms of MT3, I've only got one MT3 set, which is just here, which is MT3 Elven from the last group buy. I really like that. It hugs your fingertips, it feels great, it looks fantastic, it sounds fantastic, it's PBS, it's great. Is a giveaway only inside the US? No, I'm in the UK, I'm not in the US, man. But the giveaway is worldwide. Just one of those things. Yeah, it's absolutely worldwide. Matt B, $400, what the fuck? Yeah, it's an expensive hobby, man. Some really, really expensive boards. I don't really sell boards. I don't sell anything. I collect them. I buy stuff to collect it. That's the thing. As well as doing this, I also collect cars as well. I've got a small car collection, 7 or 8 cars in it now. So same thing. You wouldn't want to be into cars or boats or watches. Yeah, well, there you go. Jay doesn't sell things for profit. I don't really sell things anyway. I tend to just collect and collect and collect, and I think I've got about 30 boards up on the wall just in this room, and a few other things in boxes. I think we're close to 100 boards now. I think when I was counting, it was actually, I thought the next board that I'm waiting on was actually board 101, but I think I've given 2 boards away, so it might not be. So I just need to double check and count, but yeah, it's one of those things. And as Lennon says, if I do sell, I've never sold anything for more than what I paid for it. That's not me. I think I think that's just the way it is. I'd feel awful in a hobby selling things for more money than I did. This hobby is not for the faint of wallet. No, it's not, but and I think I haven't read Coconut's response here, but I use a board 8 hours a day at work. I use a board 3 or 4 hours a night at home. If I'm using something, I want it to feel good. I want it to feel right. I want it to be how I like it to be. And you can't get that from shop bought boards. Once you've tried a board like this, you absolutely start to appreciate where the money goes into them, the quality, the fit, the feel, the weight. I mean, this probably weighs £3, £3.5 pounds, something like that. It's a heavy piece of kit. It's solid aluminium, it's CNC milled, amazing stuff. Coconut says, differences, keyboards are used by us nearly every hour of the day, depending on your job, and makes every single penny extra worth it. Cars and boats and watches, a few days in the year, watches too. Even the most expensive keyboard's really worth it. It is. So this is an interesting point. So people spend £3,000 or £4,000 or dollars on a couch, and they'll sit on it for 3 or 4 hours a day. Fine, great. It'll last them 2 years, and then they'll buy another one. People spend 20 grand on a car, and they'll drive it every day for a few years, and then they'll trade it in and do the same again. Why wouldn't you spend $400 or $500 on a keyboard that you're going to use for 8 hours a day instead of an hour and 20 minutes to work each day? It's just a no-brainer. No-brainer. Which board am I most proud of? Of all the boards I've got, probably the VEA, which is the split board here. You can't really see the split, but that splits out into 2 segments. It kind of splits into 2. You can use it. Now, that was built from scratch. It took me ages to find one that supported ISO layout, which has got this large enter key. because they were only running a Korean group buy originally. The second round of it was run on mass drop, and they didn't supply ISO there, so I had to find one of the original ones. I had custom copper plates made. I melted copper, copper leaf to fill in the logo on it, which isn't actually pure copper, it turns out. It's just some sort of hybrid that's got a little bit of copper in it. I had to buy 2 of the same keycap sets because one keycap set wouldn't cover the whole layout because it's got a whole series of function rows down the side, so I had to buy 2 versions of the same keycap set. And then the switches were a Franken switch made of 3 different popular types of switch. They were Pandelios, so they were made of Panda bases with Zelio stems, springs, and then I used Utamu Sky low wobble tops for them as well. So in terms of the work gone into it, that board has taken the most out of me, probably in terms of time and effort. In terms of money, the biggest board I've spent money on was probably the Hyper 7, which a couple of people in the group probably heard of before. That's a really big keyboard, 213 keys, 213 switches, never been done before, has split PCBs, so has a PCB there and a PCB on an angle at the back and all of this kind of stuff. If you Google Hyper 7 keyboard, you'll see it's absolutely massive, and that's where it is. Stotty didn't know I like cars. Yeah, the 240Z in the picture is mine. Yeah, that's sat in my garage right now. Yeah, it's really nice. The last 10% is always hella costly. Yeah, man, you're paying for smaller returns every time. Every time you bump up a price range, you're paying for a smaller return, but it's one of those things. Man after my own heart with it then. Yeah. Do I have a daily keyboard? No. I don't have a daily keyboard. I have a keyboard that I use daily at work, which is a TX1800V2 in a nice bright blue with GMK Ski Data keycaps on. At home, I rotate the boards. The Canoe's quite a favourite because it's got Holy Pandas in it. This, I've just finished today. I've really enjoyed using this. I built it on stream a couple of weeks ago, but only finished programming it today. The E6 gets a lot of use as well. Yeah, all sorts of stuff. Har just heard of the Hyper 7 thing. He was at the group, the meetup where it was first displayed. So yeah. Oh, my wife's here. Hello, wife.
Have a name.
Hello, Ellie. What's up?
I'm making lunches for tomorrow. Do you want ham and cheese?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Do you want anything to eat now? So I'm gonna make myself a sandwich.
No, I'm not hungry now. Thank you. Oh, bless. My wife's making my lunch for work tomorrow.
Or anything?
No, I've got a drink, thanks.
Okay.
Bless her. She's making my lunch for work tomorrow. No, I'm good. I don't need a snack, but thank you. 200% master race, 173% to be precise, depending on whether you count the ISO or ANSI as stock, because ISO as a 100% keyboard has one more key than an ANSI one, so 173% is what I go with. Am I a developer? No, I'm not a developer. I'm a senior product owner, stroke program manager for a large multinational corporation here in the UK. So I'm probably a dev's worst nightmare. Constantly arguing why can't you do it faster, and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to just do now while we catch up on chat, conscious I've just talked for quite a few minutes there, is I'm going to start to move these keycaps over and still try and read a bit of chat as well. Oh, she's gone now, Harj. I'll tell her he said hi. I think Harj has met my wife when we went to our first meetup. She came along with me. Odin says, did I try Holy Utamus? Yes, I have tried them. They're very, very scratchy and quite bindy, and I wasn't a fan. Interestingly, I don't know if you saw my last stream. Where's it gone? I think I've moved it now. Hold on. One of the things I did try on the last stream, I'm just about to ship these out to someone, is we had a cream switch. So these are the Kale POM housing POM stem switch, run by Mike Novelkeys. We have a Holy Panda. And then what we have is a Halo switch. And what I did is I took the Halo stem and tried it in the cream switch housing. So this is called a Paco switch, Zambamon tells me. So you've got Paco versus Holy Panda. They're both just as tactile as each other as far as I can tell. There's very little difference in tactility, but the sound is very, very different. That's Holy Panda, that's the cream. yeah, very, very different in sound. The cream switch is going to run into group buy soon. This is a version 1 that I was kind enough to get sent from Chris Swires, who got them from Mike and Novel Keys, being all over these switches. So yeah, so that was the other thing I've tried. That's the other good option for the stems. But I wouldn't use whole Utes now. I would use creams. If you wait for the group buy and use creams instead, that's what I would suggest. Okay. Mine says orgasm, keygasm. Yeah, they sound great. We'll give you a bit of a sound test of this board in a second as well. And if you want to check on the board, you'll hear a really short sound test of this board with the carbon fibre plate that we run right at the very beginning. Okay. Swires with a hookup. Yeah, if I'm not involved, Swires is usually involved. That's the way it goes in this hobby. Certainly in the UK, one of us usually knows what's going on, or is able to hook the other one up. Interestingly, he's just got his GSKT00 board, the gasket board. I'm going to take a trip over to his next Saturday to have a look at that and see it and see what my impressions of it are. It'll be my first try with a gasket mounted board. So I'm really excited to try and see that as well. So that's the second big thing he's had recently. And I'm also going to try and help him fix his QXP, because sadly it was opened in customs and it got a really, really big scratch down it by a box cutter, which is really upsetting, given it's a lovely brand new board from Group Buy. Hey everyone, please buy the Anzi custom board. Yeah, so as Martin says, Max West Foxtrot, who was in the chat earlier on, he is running the Anzi Group Buy. So that's a 65% board that's in Group Buy right now. It's on GeekHack. It's also on Keep Talk, and it's on Max's website, cablecardesigns.co. I'm in on the group buy, so I'm absolutely hoping that it hits MOQ. It's a really, really good board. I had the prototype on stream a few months ago, so if you guys want to go back and check that out, have a look at my stream from maybe 8 weeks ago, something like that. You can see the board live there and see what you think to it. Advertising on the streams, not advertising. There's lots of group buys going on. I'm happy with anyone talking about any group buy, to be honest, on here. I'm group buy agnostic, probably the way I describe it. If anyone wants to tell people about things that they've seen, happy to go do it. I'm not paid by Max or anything like that. There's no advertising as such. Just it's something I want, so it's something I'm telling other people to buy. All of them have a microcontroller. Yeah, keyboards still have microcontrollers. Yes, Homeline. They still have microcontrollers. It depends on which keyboard you're using to which one it's got. There's a few different options out there. Martin actually designs PCBs for keyboards and other things. He's designed me a couple in the past, so he knows his stuff. Oh, Elliot was just joking. No, it's a fair question, though, man. And one that I should have probably said. You know, I'm not shilling because I've been paid. I'm shilling because I want the damn thing and I want it to hit MOQ. So that's the trick with that one. Oh, Daft's back. He had his dinner. Nice, man. Good work, dude. Hope things are going alright on the board as well. Needs a little more to hit MOQ. Yeah, I don't think it's far away now. Yeah, Harj, just grab one. Just grab one. Oh, I just realised I put that in the wrong place. Let's fix that. There we go. Trying to multitask here. Okay. That shift key is wonky as hell, so I'm going to fix that after the stream. So just guys, for your reference, when you see a key that says wonky as that, gosh, look at it, look how bad that is. That's the switch that instead of sitting square, it's actually got twisted slightly. That's a bit more of an extreme example. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, whilst it's built up, I'll unscrew the back again to get to the PCB. I'll heat it up with the soldering iron, the switch on the back, and I'll twist the keycap until it's straight. So yeah, that's something I'll fix later on. So this is the board built up. Let me put the music on mute, and we'll give you guys a bit of a sound typing test. See what you guys think. Yeah, there we go. I think it sounds alright. I think it's a little bit duller than the carbon fibre plate board. It takes a lot of the sound out of it. There's not much room inside for resonance and things like that. The switches feel nice. I think if I had headphones on, they'd be really nice switches to use. They're very tactile. They don't feel as gritty or as rough and less smooth as the Box Royals did. They feel nicer than that. They are hella tactile though. They feel really tactile. Yeah, there's a really big bump in these. Just for comparison, what we'll do is this is the retooled blacks. So I think the retail blacks sound nice. I think that board as a whole sounds nice. So it's got a lot more space for resonance in there as well, but it's not too deep. But that's a linear switch. This is a tactile switch, so it's going to sound different. I have to be honest, I'm not happy with the sound profile of these, but I do like the feeling of them. Wearing headphones, it's definitely a board I could use. In the office, probably not. It's probably too loud. Yeah, it's probably too loud for the office, but it's not a bad board at all. Well, the board's lovely, but I think the other PCB with the tactile switches in is much more my speed for this one. So you go. That was why it was wonky. The enter on that just needed putting back in. So yes, there we go. That's the build done, guys. Let me know what you think. Let's catch up with chat and see what's going on. What's the PCB like, Martin? QMK compatible. Might be able to post spy shots and say, yeah, do post some spy shots, man. I want to see that. Martin's actually the designer of the ANSI PCB. Yes, he did design that. Yeah. Programming QMK compatibility is so time consuming and boring before you can use the configurator. Yeah. Right alt looks weird too. Is it just me? No. Right alt. No, I think that's just your eye throwing it off. It's pretty much dead straight. It's right alt. That's pretty much straight. It's just the shift key is about 1 millimeter out. I just heat it up and twist it back, and it's a 2-minute job, but it's one of those things. I'm quite tempted, but I'm dying to get a TKL or an 1800 custom. I built an 1800 custom just last week on stream actually, which was really good. Rather quiet. I don't think it is quiet. I think it's loud. I think it's loud. I don't think it's quiet. I'm not a fan of the sound of the switches and the sound of the board with this aluminium plating. I think it works much better with the carbon fibre plate, and possibly these switches might sound better in that plate. I don't know. Routing PCBs. That sounds like a nightmare to me. You removed your retail blacks. Yeah, retail blacks are really nice. You could do the latex mod on them. I'm not sure what the latex mod is, Odin. I'm not seeing that. You have to PM me and let me know what that is. Why don't you put them back then? I probably will build it and put it back. We'll see how that goes. Oh, in fact, top build as usual. Watch again. 9 out of 10. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that. Okay, guys. So if you've not got any more questions or anything like that, or there's no other points you want to raise in chat, that is the Novelia E6V2 build. The board looks great. GMK Sky Dolch, Novelia switches, an angled shift key that I need to resolder, but it'll take 2 minutes. I'll get some pictures of the board up once I've done that, and I'll probably do a sound typing test as well. I think I've got about 11 different sound typing videos I need to finish off. They will be on YouTube soon. I do apologise for anyone who's waiting for those. I'll get them up on YouTube in the next couple of weeks. I just need to find the time to do them, so yeah, we'll go from there. Next stream is going to be next week. It would be one of two things. It will either be the giveaway stream if it arrives, if everything arrives for that. If not, it will be the Brown Alps build, which will be the Cyclops PCB, Cyclops plate, and the keyboard 661 case. And Brown Alps, as I showed you all earlier on, they're all in parts at the moment, waiting to be put back together, all the switches. So we'll look at that next week. And I think that's everything, guys. No more questions have come up in chat, so I'll assume you're all satisfied with the answers that I've given you, and we'll close down the stream there. So thanks very much, folks. I shall see you next week, and thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers, guys. Thanks.